Hey team, the purpose of this video is to give you a very quick overview of Google Maps. The specific geographical location that I will explore is Egypt. However, you are definitely not limited to Egypt and you can explore any place in the world. In order to access this resource, you're going to head into Clever. When you're in Clever, you're going to click on Google Drive. Once you have accessed Google Drive, you will choose the New button on the top on the left. After you have chosen the New button on the top on the left, choose the More button at the bottom. This will reveal to you the extension menu. Inside the extension menu, please choose Google My Maps. Once you have clicked on Google My Maps, you will see the United States. The green arrow is pointing on the top left where it says Untitled Map. You can click up here in this area and title the map whatever you wish. Feel free to click in that area, type in the name, and then press enter on your keyboard. When you do that, a small box will appear right here, and you can provide a title as well as a description. Choose the Save button when you are finished. Now, you probably want to search some location on the map, so head up to this navigation bar up at the top. Not all the way up at the top. Make sure you're in this specific area. Type wherever it is you would like to travel in the world or a specific location like Disneyland or the White House or the Louvre, a museum in Paris, France. Press enter on your keyboard and you will be taken to that location. Google typically provides you with a type generating filler that will use predicative text. It's going to try to predict what it is that you are typing. You can click on any item that appears in the menu if it's specific to where you are searching. When you do that, you will see the specific region where you have landed, and you can add that location to your map. You'll notice this green arrow pointing to the plus symbol that says Add to Map. And when you do that, that location will show up over on the left. Do you see that little green pin that says Nile? Anytime you add something to your map, kind of like a travel log of sorts, that information will be added to the left area of your screen. It will only be added to the left area of your screen if you click Add to Map. Otherwise, you're just searching for specific locations around the world. You'll notice right here where it says Nile. It has been added to my journey or my travel log. If you wish, the pin can be changed, either the color or the icon that appears specific to that location. Maybe you want a house or a balloon or a bed. For example, if you're going to stay the night in a hotel somewhere, if you're traveling somewhere for 2 weeks, maybe that's where your hotel is located. It may not be specific locations where you plan to visit, so you can choose icons or colors to identify specific locations on your map. Now, another level of inquiry or investigation or research is to actually view these places in Google Maps. So if you click right here where it says View in Google Maps, it would take you to 360-degree images or just non-moving images of that specific region or area. Over on the left, you'll see my green arrow pointing to this specific picture. And then down in the bottom left corner of that particular picture, it almost looks like there's a pig's tail, like it curves around and then there's an arrowhead. That means you can rotate that picture. Otherwise, it's just pictures. Sometimes in this fact-oriented area where you are in Google Maps, it might even tell you the history of that specific geographic location. It could tell you the time zone, the people who are populated there, and other places worth visiting in that region. if you have time, it is valuable, in my opinion, to research and use those resources. Now, here's another view. You have a large picture on the right in conjunction with some of those smaller pictures on the left. By clicking on any of those images, it almost feels as though you've been transported there and you can learn more about that specific area. So, up on the top of your screen, if you were transported to Google Maps and you went to that specific area where you saw lots of pictures, in order to get back to Google My Maps, you might need to head up to the top and then go back one tab. So just be careful. If you head out in order to look at some of those pictures, you might need to use those tabs at the top to return to your project. Now, I want to go somewhere else. I visited the Nile, so now I want to see a pyramid. Up in that navigation bar at the top, I'm going to type in pyramid. I'm going to find a specific pyramid. I'm going to press enter on my keyboard, or I'm going to click on something that appears in the drop-down menu. And maybe I want to add this to my map. So if you click on that plus symbol again, it will appear on that left-hand side in your travel log, and you can change the color of the pin or add an icon if needed. If you wish to view in Google Maps all over again, please make sure each and every time that you need to click where it says View in Google Maps. By doing that, you'll be transported to that other tab where you will have an opportunity to investigate and research that location differently. Sometimes there might even be a guided tour. You'll notice how this mustard colored arrow is pointing right here where it says take a guided tour. That is not always available in every single resource, but sometimes it is. By clicking on that resource, you can click see the full tour, and it might take you to a resource that's pretty fantastic. Scroll down to find more information, specifically land on areas, regions, territories, or experiences that are most important to the research that you are doing. And then once you are finished, head back so that you can add more specific locations to your tour. Or to your map rather. On that top right hand corner, you'll notice how the arrow is pointing to the X. If you want to exit that tour at any time, just click the X right there and you will exit. Here is a small list of other tours that are available to you if those are specific to the research that you are doing. And I'm making the assumption that Google tends to add more and more tours as time goes on. Now, here are a few other buttons that might be helpful for you. On that left-hand side down at the bottom, you have more than one view available to you. You can see the map view. You also have access to the satellite view. You have several different view options. If you are in one view option that's not helpful for you, you can choose any one of those other map types that are helpful for you. In the bottom right-hand corner, the technical term for this little person is called Pigman. I used to call him Cliff until I found out what the right name was. If you click on Pigman and leave your index finger down on that click and then slide him over into this location and drop him somewhere on the map, it's like you are physically there, and you might even have the ability to walk around. Now, I will mention he can only drop on the blue lines. So if you drop him somewhere where there is not a blue line, he's not going to land anywhere. So for example, you'll notice how I have clicked on Pigman and I am dragging him into the map that I see in front of me. You have little dots that are populated on the screen in front of you right here, and then you also have travel routes. If you drop him on any one of the blue dots, that means that you can see what's happening right there, but you can't really walk around. If you were to drop him on any of the areas where you see the blue line continuing, in a situation like that, you could use the arrow key on your keyboard or your mouse to actually walk or drive around that particular area. So this is what it would look like if I were to drop a Pigman right here next to this particular pyramid. And the arrow that you see here is pointing to a small arrow. This is letting you know, hey, if you move forward, this is an area where you can walk. On the left-hand side, you see where Pigman is specifically on the map, but then you see the picture of that experience. Using your mouse on the screen in a situation like the area where I'm located right here, if you click and slide your mouse to the left or the right, it's like you're physically turning around. In this picture, I am pointing to the arrow up on the top on the left, letting you know that if you ever need to measure anything on the screen, you can click, slide, click, and then you can get square mileage or distances. If your teacher's asking you to do any research related to distance or traveling or how long it would take you to travel, this particular ruler might be an effective tool that you would want to use. Now, in this next area of the video, I'm showing you how to get back into all of this research that you have done. So up at the top, I have Clever on the left. I have Google Drive, followed by Google My Maps, followed by Google Maps. It might sound a little confusing and redundant, but they're all 4 different things. When you choose to come back into this resource at a later date, you've saved all of your hard work and you want to come back into it, you're going to head back into Google Drive, and then inside Google Drive, you will find any map that you have created. So at the very beginning of the lesson, when I suggested to you that it was important to name it, that's the reason why I suggested that you name it. Your hard work is there, and you can share it with your teacher or your classmates. Team, thank you so much for watching this video, and have a great day.